So right now we are in Aible looking at a data set. This is a bank lending data set where we are trying to look at whether or not the bank approved a loan and create an AI which will help them understand how to approve loans better. So I just want Aible to explore all insights about loan approval. On the left-hand side, you can see what are the most important variables in this data set. So credit score is really important, balance is really important, annual income bucket is really important, but notice it's really only important when it's combined with balance. So the arcs here are the importance of the variable, the chords are the importance of the interactions between the variables. Now, on the right-hand side, Aible has brought up the most interesting graphs for me. I can click into anything and take a look at that graph, and it'll recommend different other graphs I might want to see. But I'm most intrigued by this ethnicity graph here because ethnicity should not have shown up, because my loan approval process should not have had an issue with ethnicity. But notice on the left-hand side, it's telling me, yes, I have an issue. Interestingly enough, ethnicity is white has a negative impact on loan approved, and ethnicity is Hispanic has a negative impact. But if you don't specify the ethnicity, it has a positive impact. This is kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to add this to my presentation because I'm intrigued by this. And I might also look at the fact that ethnicity really matters even when the credit score is low. That is also an important one because there is a pattern here specific to potentially poorer people that I want to really be aware of. The other interesting thing is there are 83 different models that have looked at this data. So when we say ethnicity Hispanic has a negative effect on loan approval, not just one model saw that. Every model from all these different types of models, from neural nets to Bayesian models to, there's a GBM there, 83 different models saw this as being important. So I'm going to be very worried about this right now. Let me skip over to the process of training an AI. And when we start with Aible on the model training side, on the left-hand side, you will see a baseline. This is what we have been doing till date. These are based on some questions we asked the customer. All these questions are customized to the use case. So we call that a blueprint. So in a banking situation, you will get banking questions, not hospital admissions questions. But the baseline tells us how we are doing today. So we're looking at how many loan prospects the bank received, what were the applications they reviewed, how many they funded, etc., and what was the profit. On the right-hand side is what Aible is telling me it can do based on what it's seeing in the data. Now, this depends on what is it that the bank is trying to achieve. So, for example, I might want to go in and change my business strategy here because I'm looking at this thing and saying, hey, this is very profitable, but the AI is so effective, it's basically telling me to stop reviewing the vast majority of my loans. I'm not going to fire all my loan officers. And in fact, profitability may not be my goal. My goal may very well be, hey, what can I do with all the people I have? And you find that I could make a lot more money and I would be unprofitable. That doesn't sound right either. So let me go in and see what might happen if I want to increase my revenue by 50%. Can I do that? And this starts looking interesting that, hey, I can get 50% more revenue while reviewing far fewer loans and still be quite profitable. What is happening here is that actually different AI is being looked at. I'm just going to pin the drivers of the AI here, but different AI is being looked at as we change the strategy that we have, and we are able to adjust to the right AI. Now, remember we were looking at ethnicity and we were concerned that there was ethnicity seemed to matter. And right now we are doing this without any equality constraints. But with Aible, I can go in and say, no, I really want to make sure that my loan rejection rate is the same for different ethnicities. I want to be fair. And my definition of fairness is my rejection rate should be the same. And Aible comes in and it can pull it off. And I just see that I reduced my profit a little bit. I reduced my revenue a little bit, but it's not that bad. If I compare that to no equality constraints, it's not that bad. I'm only I might even make a little more revenue. I can go into a different definition of fairness, like going in and saying, hey, I want to have the equal funded rate when somebody, like think of it as approval rate being equal. And I can look at the economic implication of that. What you're doing here is looking at different strategic outcomes, strategic things that you care about, and Aible finds the right AI to deliver on that strategy for you, and it tells you what the economic impact of that would be. This is what allows us to get to economic value so quickly, and all these recommendations can be pushed right back into end applications like Salesforce, etc., so that you can act on it.